Hi, this is Ken and Michelle Bass.
And you're listening to the Resilient Parenting Podcast.
Hello, Ken and Michelle here. This is the introduction to our next episode of our podcast.
Okay.
I wanted to introduce that so we knew what we were doing.
Okay. I think that was mostly for you.
Oh, well, so I knew what I was doing?
Yes.
Speaking of knowing what I was doing, I
boy.
was looking at a book here listing off some nerdy pickup lines.
Okay. It has been a hot minute since you better have not been using any pickup lines. But if you're using nerdy ones, I think I'm pretty safe.
Okay. Can I follow you? Because my mom told me to follow my dreams.
Oh.
Or who needs Google? You're everything I'm searching for.
Ay, Gavalt.
Do you have a name or can I call you mine?
Oh. No, thank you.
Okay.
New choice.
Yeah, okay. We do have a new episode coming up.
We do have a new episode, minus all of the nerdy pickup lines. Mm-hmm. Well, but we do have, we're giving you a choice. Well, actually, we're asking you to help us out, and that is to help us reach more people. And so you can do that by, one, listening to the episode, but also making sure that you follow the Resilient Parenting Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And then, like it, give us a rating, make a comment. All of that does something in the social media world where Nessie, I'm starting to sound like my mother, where it makes it reach more people.
Oh, okay. And thanks for following us because Mom told us to follow our dreams. Well, this time on our podcast, this latest episode, we're chatting with Maggie Thompson, who serves as the Director of Programs at Family Advocates. She oversees the organization's day-to-day program operations, and her responsibilities include leading the 4th Judicial District Court-appointed Special Advocates CASA program and the Family Strengthening Education program. Big mouthful.
You did it though. We're so proud of you.
Used to have cue cards on that when I was on the radio. And also Maggie Thompson, by the way, my former car friend.
You need to explain this because that is just weird now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I moved here 15 years ago, and Ken was the voice that helped me drive my nieces to school and get them ready, and gymnastics and soccer. And he was my car friend, and he just didn't know it until today.
Oh, okay. So welcome. We're really happy to have you. And I have we both actually have a little history with Family Advocates. I know when we were prepping for this episode, I had shared that I had my undergrad internship at Family Advocates, and part of the reason why I wanted to have my internship at Family Advocates was because of your two programs. And then I ended up doing a lot of work with the CASA program as a guardian ad litem. And then, Ken, you also were very involved. They used to have, I don't know if they still do, but the gingerbread gala.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there was.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and I was actually on the board of directors for a little bit until I ended up working with the same population, so I had to not do that anymore. But anyway, so we have a history you didn't even know we had a history of. So for those that are not familiar with Family Advocates, can you tell our listeners a little bit about what all you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a private, independent 501c3 nonprofit that was started by two foster families in 1978. So we have a long history in the Treasure Valley of serving children and families. We're going on our 48th year. Math is a little hard. We might be heading towards 49 at this point. But these two foster parent families, they saw the need to provide advocacy for the children that they had in their homes. So in 1978, they started Family Advocates, and we began to offer parenting support. And then 2 years later, we started the first CASA program in Idaho in 1980. And this is where the 4th Judicial District CASA program is. Throughout the last 48 years, we've had many versions of what we call now the Family Strengthening Education Program. It used to be baby steps, whatever kind of parenting style, trend, need, gap was filled by family advocates during those years. And something I'm really proud of is for 48 years, all of our services have been free and open to the community. We now are in Garden City. We used to be on State and Whitewater, but we moved in September 2024 to a wonderful office off of Chinden Boulevard. And this is where we have both our CASA program and our Family Strengthening Education program. And through that, we also have our Darcy Hallworth Family Resiliency Center.
Wow, I did not know you moved. Okay.
I remember the State Street location because I would come by to see you every now and then, bring you lunch or something on it.
Yes, because that's where I was stationed as well. But then we also would do a lot of family training and activities like support groups and whatnot at local churches, I believe, because we had the childcare available and all of that. So I'm looking at your program right now. Today, you're specifically going to be talking about your Family Strengthening Education program. And it looks like there's like it talks a little bit about the curriculum, concrete resources, and all that. So can you share? This looks amazing. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. Through a generous multi-year grant with the Idaho Children's Trust Fund a few years ago, we were able to actually start a family resiliency center. And we did that as soon as we got into our new office. So while we still have community partnerships and we do things out into the community, our primary programming is here in Garden City in our office downstairs in our Family Resiliency Center. At the core of everything we do is still our education. We do believe that education is a strong supporter of prevention of child abuse and neglect. But with that, we have our flagship family resiliency courses. They're 10 weeks. They're based in the STRONG framework, the 5 protective factors, the HOPE framework as well. We offer them both in person and online. They're 10 weeks long. For our in-person classes, we're able to engage the whole family. While parents learn, children have their own concurrent programming so they can practice what they're learning together. So adults have their programming and then children have a kid-sized version. And so when families go home, they can practice those skills that they're learning together. And one of the coolest things about our family resiliency courses in person is that it starts with a free meal. That is something that we're able to provide. And I didn't grow up in a table family. We might eat at the table 3 times a year, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and the rest of the time it was chaos. But I married a table family guy and they eat at 6 o'clock most nights. And that was their family structure. And so being able to provide a genuine concrete resource like food, it's something that can help bridge the gap. It can help calm nerves. It can just be something normal. And families can sit and eat together. They can hear how other families interact with each other. But what's really fun is over the years, I've heard the first few classes are really quiet during dinner. And by week 6, 7, it gets progressively louder. But by week 10, it's like a genuine family and a big celebration. And parents are helping other kids and other kids are sitting with other families and it's loud and it's happy. And I think it just sets people at ease. So when they go into their educational settings, whether it's adults or children, they've already kind of broken the ice and they have some sort of commonality together that's really shared around a table. And so we do that with all of our in-person programs.
And they also get a diploma when they graduate from all this too?
They do get a certificate, yes. We do receive referrals for families to take our course, whether it's through a family court action, through the Department of Health and Welfare, probation and parole. Sometimes schools refer families to take our classes, or people just hear about us word of mouth, or they find us online. But however we have families join us, they do receive a certificate of completion once they pass the course. And then beyond our first family resiliency course, we also offer an advanced family resiliency course for any families interested in enhancing their skills even further.
Like going for your master's or something, huh?
So, so this is for any families.
Any family, every family, your neighbor, your cousin, your sister, everyone.
So it isn't based on necessarily need, because I think anyone in a parenting role is like, oh, what am I doing at any given time? I mean, I think that you have it figured out, and then you get a different personality in a kid or a different stage of development, and you're like, whoa, what is this?
Absolutely. We have even had participants that do not have children of their own take the course because they wanted to unpack their own childhood experience and learn some different skills. So if they choose to have a family in the future, they wanted to do something different. They were actively choosing to break the cycle that they grew up in before that next cycle began. And they brought so much insight to the class. We have also had people with teenagers and master's degrees. And one of my friends took the class initially because she wanted to volunteer with our program, but wanted to learn more about the program before she started doing it. But along the way, it brought her so much joy, and it provided her with additional support and skills that she didn't know that she needed strengthening. And that's really the goal of our program, is to strengthen families, to meet them where they are, to provide them with resources, to provide them with education, and to do it in a non-judgmental way, and to meet families where they are. We recognize that families aren't cookie cutters.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking specifically in person, and I love the meal. Nothing brings people together like food. What about you? You also said there's a virtual option, because I know that our podcast is for the entire state of Idaho. So how far is this outreach for virtual?
We have had people across Idaho take our class. It is online. It is about an hour and a half. So it doesn't include the meal portion of it. And we have developed, it is the exact same curriculum as the in-person class. It is just online. That was, I hate to say, one of the gifts of COVID. It taught us that we can be more flexible with our programs, with our offerings, to meet families where they are. Transportation is a barrier. And the last thing that we want to do is to prevent a family from taking it because they don't have access to come to our office, whether they're local in the Treasure Valley or they're up north or in eastern Idaho. We want to be accessible to all families. Our youth development coordinator did develop a concurrent at-home version of the children's programming that we can send to parents so they can do activities together as a family as well.
Oh, wonderful. Now, do you have a certain limit of people that can sign up at a time?
That is a great question. So in person, we're limited to 28 participants due to the size of our building. We have a strategic plan and a growth plan for a few years from now. And of course, that requires capital campaign and additional funding and construction. But our online class can hold up to 25 people. And so there's kind of a mix of offerings, and then we offer them every single quarter. We do currently have a wait list. But enrollment opens soon, and it's every 10 weeks is our course.
Nice.
Okay, maybe I have already forgotten you said this or not, but what are some of the topics that are actually covered in the family resiliency course?
You're a tricky one, car friend. Yeah, so everything from communication to boundaries to, oh goodness, you guys are catching me out. The 5 protective factors. What are appropriate developmental stages for children so we can engage in discipline? We can have realistic expectations for children. There's a whole lesson on the importance of play, and that's absolutely one of my favorite ones. We had parents tell us that they don't remember what it's like to play with their kids. They didn't know how to play with their kids. And so our family resiliency education supervisor has an entire lesson on it, and it hits all the different learning types. We have hosted workshops afterwards of family game nights, of literally playing with board games, but also imaginative play and creative play, to the point where she also did that same workshop for our staff at one of our staff meetings last year. And hands down, in 7 years of family advocates, it was the best staff meeting we ever had because it was just pure joy. And I think as adults, we forget how much fun it is just to play, to set everything aside and just be a person wherever you are in your life.
Yeah, it's so important. I love everything I'm hearing. I am curious though, about, it takes a lot of people to put something like this on. So I know you have a lot of volunteers. There may be people listening right now who are like, I am interested in helping with this and volunteering. So how would they get a hold of you, or what is the best way to be a volunteer?
Going to our website first and foremost is a really helpful way to get in. You can inquire about volunteer opportunities. There is the email address on our website if you're interested in enrolling in programming. We have a small but mighty staff, and then we do have a lot of volunteers. But we also have a lot more volunteer opportunities because of our Family Resiliency Center. And we have even more classes and even more programming for families that we also want to support through volunteers. I have worked professionally with volunteers for more than 20 years. I have a bachelor's and master's degree. But the thing I'm probably the most proud of is my certification in volunteer administration. I grew up in a family where volunteering was so fundamental to our family's DNA. I saw it from the very beginning of my childhood. My parents did scouts and church and everything in between. And so when I went off to college, I had those opportunities and I started volunteering myself. Family Advocates is powered by volunteers. Last year, we had more than 300 volunteers across both of our programs, across everything we do, from volunteers that helped with the gala to our board members to CASA volunteers to family strengthening to volunteers that came for done in a day projects at our office. Our volunteers provided more than $1.3 million of time to our community last year, just at Family Advocates alone. So if this is something that you're passionate about, we would love to have you join us to support our courses or our events. We also have other opportunities and continuous support we provide to families through our media center, our new law clinic, quarterly workshops for families. There is a place for everyone.
Now, with all the volunteering, I know maybe you could use some help with some of the resources you provide some of the families that are involved in this too.
Because we're looking at concrete resources that you provide, and I'm looking at diapers, wipes, blankets, books, toys, school supplies, personal hygiene products. Tell us about that and what you need.
Yes. So, first of all, our community is incredibly generous. And if anyone is interested in coming and tour the office, especially you two, we would love to show you around what we do, our Family Resiliency Center. But my favorite room in the whole office is our resource room. Everything in there is a new donation. We have everything from diapers to wipes to hygiene supplies to coats to blankets, toys, books, school supplies, you name it, we have it. We want to meet families where they are. And during various times over the last few years, it has just been extra challenging for families that putting food on the table and keeping a roof over people's heads and lights on was all a family could do. And so if we can meet a family partway and help them with some of these concrete resources, it doesn't solve everything, but if it helps relieve a little bit of pressure, that's also part of prevention. And then helping families access more concrete resources from the community, utilizing resources through Find Help Idaho, through the Department of Health and Welfare, through other community partners. But on an ongoing basis, we always need Squishmallows. I know it sounds crazy, but
Not in our house.
not in mine either. They provide such a sense of comfort for children. And I don't know if it's their size or their material, but it's almost like when you hold one, it's hugging you back. And kids need that, whether they're foster children or families living on the edge or experiencing stress. Or I remember being a kid and being terrified of what was living in my closet. If I had a Squishmallow defense force, I think it would have been a lot better. But we always need Squishmallows. We always need diapers, hygiene supplies. Tiny humans go through lots and lots of diapers. Through a generous partnership with Albertsons and one of the local TV stations, we have been a recipient of the community baby shower every year. So when you hear that come up, please come to your local Albertsons. We usually have about 4 or 5 stores in the Treasure Valley. Other nonprofits, they have their own stores. Everything that day that we collect in the store comes back to fill our resource room, and that goes directly to families. That's something that we're really proud that we're able to do. And it's not just a few diapers, it's packages of diapers.
That's wonderful. So for a family that is interested in getting started, but maybe they're not sure if it's for them, or they're nervous, or are people going to judge me? And I know you said all of that, that it's welcoming and a little quiet in the beginning just because everybody's probably thinking that. What would you say to those families that are like on the fence about whether or not they want to sign up or not?
For sure. This year, we started offering additional programming through our Family Resiliency Center, and that may be a great entry point for families who are trying to consider, because we recognize that 10 weeks is a huge commitment to a family. Twice a year, we also offer a shortened course. We call it a 5 for 5. It's based on the 5 protective factors. It's 5 weeks long. We do one in the summer and one in the winter. Generally, we do those online because they're shorter and we want to just meet families where they are. But we also started a monthly parent circle in January, and it meets every single month. It's an hour where parents have an opportunity to come to our office to chat with other parents that are going through similar phase of life. We have topics and cards and conversations just to get the conversation going. But I think it's nice to be able to talk to somebody that's going through something very similar. Raising tiny humans is hard, and feeling like you are alone or this is unique to you, but then coming to a place where you find that, no, my family's going through something similar, or we went through that season last year and this is how we navigated through it. So while grownups have that opportunity, we also have a kid version of it where they get to practice communication. They get to practice their skills, their I statements, being able to express themselves. And so we do that every month, and that's for an hour. Every quarter, we have an event for parents, which is called our Resilient Family Hub. They are workshops that teach additional skills. So far, we have done one on relieving parental stress and learning about caring for all of your different domains in life, your mental health, your creative side, your spiritual side, practical tips like drinking water. Who knew that drinking a glass of water could be transformative? But it is. We also have had an Ask the Expert panel, where that was the one time we did not offer programming for children because we wanted parents to have a safe space to ask whatever questions they had to experts, a pediatrician, a pediatric nurse, a nutritionist, a parent coach, a social worker. Pick a person, and it was just a safe place where families could ask, is this normal? What should I expect here? What do you recommend for services support? So we do that through our Resilient Family Hub. And then one of the things that I really love in addition to that is our Building Blocks program. It's based on the principle of providing a positive childhood experience. And what we know through research is ACEs are important. It is important to know them. It is important to understand that it can impact our life and health.
Can you explain really quick what ACEs are?
Yes. ACEs are adverse childhood experiences, and it can range from anything to the death of a parent or being removed from a parent, a traumatic event, a trauma. We all survived a global pandemic, and we all added an extra ACE point to our score. But ACEs can impact your overall health as you go on through life. But having a high ACE score does not mean that it is a sentence or a terrible life moving forward. There's some really amazing research about PCEs, or positive childhood experiences, out of Tufts Medical Center on the East Coast. And so what we do in our Building Blocks program is we provide positive childhood experiences, not only for children, but for families. And one of the things in positive childhood experiences is having one caring adult show up. I know in my life, having my parents' friends see me, hear me, acknowledge me, incorporate me into part of their lives was life-changing. They might not have thought much of it, but I thought the world of those adults. And then as I got older in my youth group, I mentored when I was in college because it was nice to have somebody outside of my family show up for me, I wanted to do that for someone else. And so we do that through building blocks. And we've had a trunk or treat. We had a Christmas celebration at our office. We just had an event last week. It was called Artful Hearts and Happy Paws. It was tied to a book that had been donated for families to read during the month of January. So they got to practice reading at home. It was a chapter book. And then our youth development coordinator developed a program based in the themes of the book. And we had a local cat rescue come and bring two of the most precocious, adorable kittens with them. So they got to talk about cats and when you see them, what to look for in their body language to be safe. And then the Boise Art Museum was so generous and donated art supplies, but also free museum passes so families could go and continue to learn even after our event was over.
Wow. You do a lot. Do you have a newsletter, or how do folks learn about all the upcoming events? Because it sounds like you're constantly doing new things, and I don't think anyone would want to miss anything. So how do people find out about all of this?
Our website is a great place to go to get on our list. Right now, we're sending our list to our current and past participants as well as referral partners. It is something we can certainly work on putting in a more public face and adding to our events calendar, which we keep up to date. We do have a building blocks event at the end of March coming up called Ready, Set, Grow. And it's teaching families how to grow healthy, nutritious food in whatever space they have. And whether it's a pot in a windowsill or on an apartment patio or a front or backyard, or even here at our office, we are starting a family resiliency garden. And some of the things that we grow here at the office, we've incorporated into our meals as a part of our family resiliency courses. But we want to give families that opportunity because you don't have to have a vast knowledge of growing. I fell into gardening with my husband, and we have made some epic gardening mistakes, but we have learned so many things along the way. It has taught me about patience. It has taught me about nurturing something. There's something so powerful about starting as a seed, putting it in dirt, watching it, caring for it, and then months later being able to eat it. It is weirdly satisfying and a little bit smug for me. I can't pretend that that's not true.
You're talking to someone who loves to garden, so I completely understand. And Ken is getting better about not killing the actual plant instead of just focusing on the weeds.
I ask first, is this a weed or a plant?
Yeah, which is a good thing because he used to be like a terror with the weed eater, and the lawnmower.
But this workshop is just to teach families about some of the principles of gardening and then providing them with concrete supplies so they can go home and do it at home. We received a generous donation from the Snake River Seed Cooperative, and they gave us seeds for our event. We're just wanting to send families home with the basic space, the basic tools to garden, and then to be able to come back and garden at our office over the course of the growing season.
So the website is?
And familyadvocates.org. And if people are really interested in getting involved in registering for courses, learning more about all of our events, they can they can email us at enroll, ENROLL at familyadvocates.org. It's also on the website.
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes so you don't have to remember it if you're driving right now. Do not try to write this down. It'll be in the show notes. You can just click on it.
Oh, wait a minute. If they're driving right now listening?
They're
driving. Car friends.
They're car friends.
We're all car friends now.
Yay, car friends. Well, thank you. I feel like you guys were already car friends, and I'm just kind of hanging around now. I'm in the back seat going, are we there yet? Thank you so much for your time today and all these amazing resources and programs. Very exciting. And we had talked when we were prepping that I would be interested in volunteering or being a part of some future opportunities. So thank you so much for everything that you do in the community and for taking the time to talk to us today.
Absolutely. I would like to also include that we do have a free legal clinic here at our office twice a month on the first and third Thursdays. 70+% of Idahoans don't have access to legal resources. So if you're in the Treasure Valley, You can come to our Family Advocates office from 1 to 4 on the first and third Thursdays. But if you aren't local, you can reach out to the Idaho Volunteer Lawyers Program, and there are free legal clinics across the state powered by wonderful, dedicated, talented pro bono attorneys that are in your community, even outside of the Treasure Valley.
Awesome. Very, very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
This podcast is brought to you by the Idaho Children's Trust Fund.